Okay, one thing that I really enjoyed from this course of biology was the scientific method. I think that this was because, we really use it in everything that we do, and we probably use it 5 times a day without even really knowing it or examining it. The first step in the scientific method is the question. The question is the first step in the scientific method. It is what gets an entire experiment started. You cannot conduct any other step without a question. It begins everything that we do just in life. We have a question and we go out and try to find the answer. An example that I came up with was regarding a cherry pie. What is the best brand of cherries to use when making a cherry pie? Dark sweet cherries, red tart cherries, or freshly picked cherries? The next step is the research. The purpose of researching and finding facts is to deeper understand what you are working with. It is important to seek out all the information pertaining to your experiment before you go any further. This kind of reminds me of if you want to buy a car, like a Ford Escape for an example. You're not just going to go to one place and buy the first one you see. You're going to research, try to find the best model of it, like the best year, and like the best prices at different places. You're not just going to go buy the first one. You're going to research it a little bit. Examples of some research questions that I came up with were, where did the cherries originally come from? If they are sweet, do I need to add any more sugar into the pie filling? And how much cherries will I need depending on each kind? Now, the second question is a good question, but doesn't really pertain to this experiment. In this experiment, we're not testing how much sugar we need according to how much sugar is already in the cherries. We're searching about the different kinds of cherries to make the tastiest pie. The next step is forming a hypothesis. An hypothesis is an attestable explanation for why something has happened or what will happen. It is important to form a thought-out hypothesis because you need to be able to back up why you thought something would happen over a different possibility. The hypothesis that I have formed regarding the cherry experiment is that I believe the best cherries to use for my pie will be the fresh picked cherries. This is because I know they are fresh and do not have any other additives or preservatives, resulting in the best tasting cherry pie. The next step is probably the longest step out of all of them, is the experiment. The purpose of the experiment is to prove your hypothesis as either accepted or unaccepted. The question the hypothesis formed cannot be determined without an experiment being conducted. My hypothetical situation, I baked one pie with each kind of cherries. Each pie had the same recipe for the filling and the crust. The only thing that changed was the type of cherry used. Like I said earlier, the amount of sugar wouldn't be used in this specific experiment, but could possibly be used in a later experiment. And the final step is the conclusion. The purpose of your conclusion is to conclude your experiment is either proven or disproven your hypothesis. If the hypothesis that was formed has been disproven, you can either take that and continue experimenting if your question has not been answered. But if it was answered, you do not have to repeat the process of the scientific method. Like I've said twice, I think already, you can just conduct similar experiments to find the best tasting pie in this example. My conclusion of my hypothesis from our hypothetical situation was, after baking each pie, I have concluded that the best tasting pie, in my opinion, was the pie baked with the freshly picked cherries. My hypothesis has been proven correct. Like I said at the beginning, the scientific method, we use it every single day, and I really like that the course began with that because it set up a good structure of what we were going to be studying, and we would have to kind of use it in our labs and stuff. And overall, I really enjoyed this class.